Alright, good afternoon everybody. I'm here to play some Ghost Sweeper Mikami, a Joreishi wa Nice Body, which is a very long title for this Japanese game for the SNES, never released in America, but we have access to it right here for you to enjoy. This is based on a Japanese anime from the 90s called Ghost Sweeper Mikami, which is kind of a story about what happens when urbanization, instead of driving away animals, starts driving away spirits from their homes and they have to take up residence in the big city. A sort of professional ghost busting service gets set up. There's competing companies, and this anime series follows a character named Mikami. And the subtitle of this game literally means The Exorcist with the Nice Body, so very 90s anime inspired. This is a pretty traditional SNES platformer, kind of what you would expect from a licensed game, so not a bad game at all, but just nothing that really super stands out for a long play. As a speedrunning game, it's been pretty fun to learn and to improve. Speedruns tend to range somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. I'm going to be shooting for about 25, so we'll see how many mistakes I make being live on stream. But that is what we're looking at today. So as we get into the game, I'll be explaining some of the mechanics, but the big thing you need to take away from this game is in order to play it fast, don't get hit. There are various power-ups scattered throughout the game. There is one very good one that is an ice power-up that does kind of a spreading attack, which you'll see here in a few minutes. And that is the one you want to hold on to for the whole game. It is very likely I will not, but I will do my best. So without much further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I hope everyone enjoys. If I get quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. All right. Ready? And here we go. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So this game is organized in a series of what they're calling reports, kind of an episodic adventure as you face different paranormal threats here. We've got lots of ghosts and spirits to fight. There's two different kinds of swings you can do. There's an overhead swing and a forward swing. Overhead swing hits a wider range of enemies, but doesn't go quite as far forward. A lot of times the optimal strategy is going to be to use an overhead swing, just because it gives you better coverage. You can hit more enemies at once, but that is not a hard rule. You will see me use both throughout the run. Another thing to note in this game is hitboxes and hurtboxes are not always what you would expect. You saw the first time I ran into those zombie enemies, I was able to jump right over them. So as long as it's only one in a row, you can jump right over and not get hit. There's a couple other enemies throughout the run that you'll see that you kind of just slip right past, but you wouldn't think you'd be able to do that. I do now have that power-up I talked about at the beginning. This is the ice power-up. I usually call it the spread. As you can see, very handy for the run. This is the power-up I'm going to try to hold on to basically throughout the whole game. Whoop. These little service cards are interesting. If I can hit one, it'll destroy a door in one hit. Assuming I can time it correctly. Just like that. Perfect. You can also use your overhead swing to grab onto platforms, which you'll see throughout the run. Some levels where it's optional, some level where it's crucially important. And these little hand guys are another one of those enemies where the hurt boxes are not nearly as hurty as you would expect. You just kind of slip right under them. It's also possible to jump over those little ghosts that stick their hands out of the doorway. I am not very good at it, so I'll just take the pause in order to hang on to my weapon and not make a mistake. Coming up on the first boss now. There is a quick kill on this boss if I can manage it. You pretty much can only do it with this weapon, so we'll see if he gives me good placement. And I will explain what I just did with that power-up in just a second. Got him. That is the quick kill on that boss. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen there's a little teardrop icon with the number 1. That is a super ability. You activate it by hitting the X button. And there's 2 kinds. There's a talisman and the spirit stone. What I have right now is the spirit stone. That is the one you want. That is the one that will freeze bosses. The other one is more effective at dealing with stage enemies, but most of the time you don't need it for the speedrun. So you're going to want to hang on to the Spirit Stone as much as you can and use it strategically on specific boss fights. So a couple of different quick kills you can do on the bosses, and the bosses are where the real time loss is. Most of the time, even without a power-up, you're moving at a pretty brisk pace through these levels. That is another power-up, which I'm going to skip. Because again, I want to hang on to the spread as long as I can. There is another Spirit Stone right here. So I'm going to pick up, stock up. You also periodically will get a free super ability at the end of a level. I don't think it triggers every level. I'm not quite sure the system. I'd have to check the guide again for what the exact mechanics are for that. But you can get freebies every now and then. But what happens is the number will always stay the same no matter what. So I'm at a 2 right now. If I pick up a talisman, it's going to replace the Spirit Stone, and it's going to put me at a 3 total. So they don't stock separately. They swap back and forth between each other. So you have to be very careful not to pick up any talismans through the run, because it's going to wipe out your Spirit Stone collection. So if you ever see me dodging what looks like a little blue piece of paper, that's a talisman that I'm trying not to pick up. Another interesting little mechanic in this waterfall level, you'll see these little lizard guys popping out. Those guys are on a global timer. So most enemies will spawn as you approach them and be in a fixed position. Not so for those guys. These little water droplets will spawn below me, and they'll keep on raising on a set time. And when they get a certain amount of height above my current position, they will spawn. So if you mess up on this level and get your timing off, you can go from just ignoring the water droplets to being swarmed by the lizards constantly. So it's a very important level to keep a good pace on, which I seem to be doing so far. And we've made it to the boss of stage number 2. This is a very classic boss design. 2 floating hands and a head. So the goal for this one is to keep the hands away from the center of the screen. When they get to the center, they will pause for a minute, and then they will freeze in place, become invulnerable, and try to grab me. As we get deeper into the fight, though, more and more of these little possessed dolls are going to keep spawning and causing trouble. Alright, that's it. Doing pretty good so far. So now we're just waiting for the next little jewel here to spawn. We'll jump up and grab it. And that is Report 2. Little cutscene in between here. And now we are getting to an auto-scroller level with its own little anime twist, riding on the back of a giant cat. Okay, so that pot I just skipped was a talisman. I'm going to try not to kill that guy and not to touch it. So I am very happy with the fact I've been able to hold on to the spread. It makes this level a lot easier. One of the things I really like about this game, and this level is a great example of it, they introduce you to concepts very slowly and meticulously, like really good game design in terms of letting the player learn what to expect in a level. So we just got an example of pretty much all the enemies we're going to see over the course of this level in a very controlled, easy environment, and now we're getting an example of all the different obstacles we could get, and the fact that, yeah, later on there's going to be enemies attacking us at the same time as a bunch of obstacles. This level is pretty well designed, from that standpoint. And as I said, one of the best levels to have hung on to your spread attack. Alright, this is the trickiest part of the level, so I may stop talking here in a second. About to have a crazy number of mobs all spawning at once. There's a talisman I don't want to touch. Got him. Alright. Alright, this spot is just duck to win. Sorry, birds. Alright, and there is another one of these little dudes who I always seem to hit. Got him. I don't know why. I have a mental block with that last little floaty guy. I tend to always hit him. Alright, and now this is the creepy weird boss. Don't know what he's supposed to be. This guy is probably the most RNG heavy boss in the game, with these little rodents that he spawns, and the junk. Whew! 1 heart left. This is the boss, the second most likely boss to kill me in a run. But we made it through. We did lose our power-up. That is A-okay. There's another one on the next stage. The main reason to hold on to it coming out of Report 2 is so that you can use it during the main stage of Report 3. Another cutscene here, and we're off to Report 4. This is like a Haunted Woods level. I use a lot of overhand swings here to take out multiple enemies at once. These little tree faces are going to try to summon monsters, so I got to hit them real quick. And we're back to the spread. And lost it. I was telling someone earlier, speedrunning is all about discovering mistakes you never knew you could make. That's okay. I've practiced this with no power-up plenty of times at this point over the course of the last week. We will make it through. Ow. It's a bit unfortunate because we have another auto-scroller coming up next, and it is very helpful to have the spread weapon on that auto-scroller, but there is a backup weapon, the red weapon you saw me skip earlier on level 2, I think it was. And that one does a decent job. Those guys. These trees are the most annoying part of this level, and the biggest reason you would want the spread weapon as you go through the stage. But we will make do. Missed my jump there, but we're doing alright. One more tree. And off to the boss. Oh, nope, not quite. Spoke too soon. Almost, though. Over. Get some cake. Keep it moving. Now we drop and get to the boss. Oh yeah, those guys don't normally go in that direction. Weird. Right, not ideal to have 2 hearts going into this boss, but we should be alright. Got 2 speech bubbles in this one. So this dog is going to be flying in and out of the screen. And once we've hit him a certain number of times, he is going to spawn a clone of himself. This is another boss where there is a quick kill possible. It requires you to use 2 spirit stones, and it's a little bit riskier of a quick kill. But if you can get it, you don't have to watch this falling animation, which slows you down if you're trying to make a world record. But we'll go for safety over speed in this case. Time for our second auto-scroll level. Very important that I get the power up here at the beginning, otherwise this is going to be a bad time. I'm going to get in position here. They come out right away. Come on, little dudes. Alright. This is probably the most important level to not get hit on. I do my best. That is both because the next level is probably the first half of the next level is probably the hardest in the game in terms of avoiding random hits. This boss is also one of the hardest ones and longest ones to kill if you don't have a power-up. Like, he takes a long, long time to beat Vanilla. You want to get the quick kill on him. Quick kill is a lot easier to get when you've got a power-up, so I'm doing my best here to stay safe. We're pretty close to the end at this point, and I took a hit. Alright, well, this will be an interesting adventure trying to beat this boss Vanilla. The extended range was much desired. Alright, so he's going to come out of the front here and chase me. He's going to be flying around the screen. Be able to sneak in a hit or two during this pattern, but not many. So as you can imagine, the quick kill involves using a Spirit Stone. Dodge the bats. Involves using a Spirit Stone. Oh, I got him backwards. Freezing him and then getting enough hits in to kill him before he starts doing that in and out of the screen business. Didn't quite get it this time. Again, it's a lot tougher without a power-up, but we will continue to make do. And split. Alright, like I said, the first half of Report 6 is definitely the hardest bit of platforming you do. It's a very Sonic the Hedgehog 2 kind of stage, where there's lots of quick-moving, off-screen enemies, like those guys, who will just attack you out of the blue. Those guys who jump randomly. As you can see, more offstage action coming. There we go. Alright, we're going to go with the electric power, which we have not seen, and it's gone. I was about to give you a whole spiel on the third power-up that none of you have seen yet, but guess we're skipping that today. Again, speedrunning is all about making mistakes you've never made before. Oh, we've got some cake here. That guy's coming with some rats. There's another rat. Alright, this is a lottery segment. She might drop enemies or drop items. Hey, we got the items. Skip the talisman. Oh, I should not have skipped the talisman. Oh well. That's okay. Because there's a talisman and Spirit Stone back to back there, I can grab the talisman and then immediately grab the Spirit Stone and be a-okay. But forgot that, so we're just going to keep rolling. Alright, it's not hugely important. Not so much a quick kill on this level's boss as a quicker kill. Wait for this guy to pause. One more guy there. If you're wondering why I'm ignoring all the pots, it's because there are no power-ups on the stage. There's one cake right before the boss. A little slower, but trying to keep it safe here. Ooh, hello. Alright, so this Report 6 boss has 2 phases. The first phase is relatively easy. The second phase can be a nightmare if you make a mistake. So this guy is going to disappear and reappear over and over again. Some of the times when he disappears and reappears, he will do that little sweeping attack, which is relatively easy to dodge. But when he does it, he cannot be hit, as best as I can tell. So there is, with full Spirit Stones, I can do a quick kill in this first phase, where you freeze him and then hit him over and over again. I'm saving my Spirit Stones for the end of the game. This rat is terrifying. So these little mini clowns, they will spawn and play a song. And if they manage to play the whole song, the rat will fire out a little orb of magic that cannot be dodged that will turn me into a little doll who can attack. And you can basically get locked in a cycle of him doing it over and over again. And then all you can do is dodge, and it can waste minutes. So you definitely want to kill those little spawns as quickly as you can. Alright, this is the last full level. This one is very unique. It has a unique power-up. We will not be seeing any more spreads, waves, or electricity. We're going to be seeing this thing, which I will show you in a second. So this fires a little projectile that can create a platform. The other thing about this level is there is a timer, and I just missed the time. Yep. So I am not going to have enough time to do this properly. So we are just going to hang out right here. Nope, and we missed it. So this is a level with a lot of time loss potential. I need to wait for it to change again. Alright. So when the background is red, you have low gravity. When the background is blue, you have high gravity. That is the crux of this level. Oh, that guy. That's my fault. I was not supposed to pick up that question mark. Let me go! This is the least speedrunny section of the level. There is a pattern you can use for climbing up here that basically, I'm not gonna make it. Can try to get the rest of the way in low grav. Ooh, or just fall immediately, that works too. Yeah, so lots of time loss potential here, because if you're off cycle, you just have to wait for it to change back. It's only climbing up to 2 high platforms, but it can be very, very hard. And there we go. Alright, this next boss is way trickier the first time you fight it. But once you learn the pattern, it's not too bad. Hopefully I'm not about to put my foot in my mouth. So we are not going to fight this horseman. We are going to fight the horseman's basically Shadow Link version of myself. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, put my foot in my mouth, but it is what you do. Come on. Got her. Whew. And now for phase 2. Phase 2 is a joke boss. He goes down like a chump. Alright, all that is left is the final boss. Another potential to get killed by the final boss, but we'll see how it goes. This is a boss I have most recently grinded on, so hopefully I won't be too rusty coming into it after playing the rest of the game. Do not have to wait for the speech bubble on this one. So the trick with the final boss is you cannot jump and hit her from beneath, because she does that. So patience is the name of the game here. It's not unlikely that I will take at least one loss here. I'll do my best not to. Alright, she's pretty close. Alright, come on. Got her. Alright, a time is when it fades to black. Waiting. Waiting. And that is time. 25 minutes and 5 seconds. Right about where I was trying to get to. So, not an awful run. As fast as I've done the boss in a full run. But that is Ghost Sweeper Mikami. So thanks for watching. It is a pretty fun speedrunning game, even if it's not the best platformer for a quote-unquote long play. I have enjoyed learning it. We'll probably keep running it a little bit to push my time down. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll turn it back over to the host of the event for the next run. Thanks, everybody.